Hello everyone, and welcome to the Lowdown on VA Loans. It's Audrey Whittington with Realtor.com, and today joining us, we have Chris Birk, who's the Director of Education for Veterans United. Thanks, Chris, for joining us.
Hi, Audrey.
So, we are really digging deep into VA loans, and I think perhaps the most important thing to do would be to compare it to other loans. So let's start with comparing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little biased. I think it compares really well overall, but it's important to do that, to know this benefit is out there and then take a long, hard look at how it stacks up. So down payment is one where we could start, right?
Sure.
So there's no down payment on VA loans.
Wow.
There's no down payment on USDA loans. And conventional loans, depends on the lender and your circumstances.
10, 20%.
Could be 5, could be 3.
Right.
And then FHA is 3.5%, right? So there's
Correct.
an array of down payments, and a lot of that depends on your specific situation, what sort of equity position you want to be in at the outset. About 8 in 10 veterans nationally purchase without a down payment, but they certainly can if they want to.
Okay, so maybe some other things are interest rate. So not only are you not putting anything down, but the interest rate evidently is lower.
Yeah, well, I think this surprises a lot of people out there that interest rates in general
surprises me.
On government-backed loans tend to be lower than conventional loans. And it just shocks a lot of home buyers out there. So they are, but when it comes to rates, every buyer's situation is ultimately different. It's going to depend on their specific credit and financial situation, the lender they're working with, and more. But broadly, overarchingly, VA loans have had the lowest interest rate on the market for more than the last 4 years.
And same for credit score, right? I mean, you've got more flexibility there.
You do, with all the government-backed loans, you really do, especially with VA. You can bounce back faster after a foreclosure or a bankruptcy or a short sale. Now, credit benchmarks are going to vary. The VA does not make these loans, they insure these loans, and so they leave it to lenders to decide, do you want to even have a credit score in the first place? Most of them do.
Sure. And
that's going to vary depending on the lender and who you talk to and some other circumstances. But a 620 FICO score is a pretty good barometer for VA loans.
Which is pretty flexible, really.
It is, and that's lower than you're typically going to find with conventional loans.
Conventional, they typically want to see you hit 700 if possible, 680, 700.
Especially if you want to compete for those top tier rates.
Right. So now let's talk about closing costs. Let's talk about how it's different for a VA loan when you're at closing.
Yeah, the VA actually offers some pretty big time benefits when it comes to closing costs. They limit what lenders can charge.
Sure.
It's typically like a 1% origination and underwriting processing, some of those upfront fees that just come with the cost of making that loan. Now, in addition, if you're a veteran, you're looking to buy out there with a VA loan, you can ask the seller to pay all of your loan-related costs and up to 4% in concessions, and that can cover things like your prepaid taxes and insurance, paying off a collection or a judgment, even a lease termination at closing. There's an array of things that you can do with that 4%.
Wow.
Now, it looks a little bit different with FHA loans. They actually have a higher cap for concessions at 6%. And then with conventional financing, it really depends on how much money you're putting down. So if you're putting down more than 10%, it looks a little bit different. If you're putting down less, it's a little more restrictive when it comes to your concessions.
I hear you. I mean, but I think it's a huge advantage, obviously. I mean, you can really come with no cash, get a low interest rate, and really be in and out, maybe have had some fiscal difficulties. I mean, just massive benefits.
Yeah, and that's the nature of this. At its heart, it's a benefit program.
Yeah. No, it's for those who serve.
Absolutely.
So thanks for joining us. I really appreciate it. This is Audrey Whittington doing the Lowdown on VA Loans. We hope you'll check out some of our other videos. If you enjoyed this video, please hit like or subscribe to our channel for more real estate content.